Hard R fans, Hollywood's fans, this is for you right here. What the hell are you doing in Hollywood? The undisputed champion of Black Wrestling Podcasting, the Hard R. Woo!
Hard R Wrestling Podcast.
Acknowledge me if you smell
What the Hard R Wrestling Podcast is cooking. And now it's time! Oh shit, okay. Yeah. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages? It's your Hard R Wrestling Podcast season finale, baby. What's going on, fellas? What's the deal?
Not much.
What up, fellas?
Yeah. Right before, first of all, two things. One, I want you to tell me, Hollywood, what you attended this weekend. But before that, I want to know why you repping Asian midget mafia clique, or can we chat about that real quick?
That sounds like the OnlyFans page or something.
OnlyFans of Oscar, Kyrie, Zane, and EO Sky. Drop her music. Boom, boom, boom.
Wow.
Love them little chicks. All right, but last night.
Why they gotta be midget? Never mind. They are short. I mean,
have you seen Bailey next to him?
Yeah, Bailey's booty is like the size of one of their heads. So
they're still taller than Mello.
Shit, that is close.
Anybody's taller than Mello.
Except Grisham.
Y'all finish. And a certain Alf, extra
that I saw last night.
Yeah.
Anyway, off his leash. Off his leash. But, what you attend last night? I went to VCW last night, and for anybody that doesn't know, it's a independent wrestling organization here in Virginia Beach, Norfolk area. I believe they still train in Virginia Beach. They have a lot of shows in Norfolk, the Masonic Temple in Norfolk. They also have shows all around Virginia as well. The last couple shows they had in Hampton at Bethel High School, and they've also had one recently that was in Northern Virginia, like Alexandria or whatever. So they do a lot of shows around Virginia, whatever. Like I said, basically most of the shows are out of the Norfolk, Virginia Beach area. But me and Antonio's teacher, Mr. Ponus, George Ponus, well known in the industry. He's done a lot of camera work and video work, and he's worked with a lot of everyone's favorite wrestlers growing up. Ric Flair. I can't even name all of them because he's shown us pictures that he's taken with all of them. And
Bunch, remember the phone book he showed us, the little black book he had? Normally we think a little black book, we think a little, as guys, the book that got the number of all the women that we're dealing with, whatever. He had a little black book.
You just aged the fuck out of us, but go ahead.
Whatever. He had a little black book of all these wrestlers' phone numbers in there. And I'm not just saying like some jabronis and shit like that. No, like Ric Flair.
It wasn't Maven,
Right. No, I'm talking about like Ric Flair.
You ain't gotta say nothing. Look, you ain't gotta say nothing else after Ric Flair. Like
that's it. You can start in there.
And this is how crazy. This is how crazy he is, and like how much he knows these people. I remember the story he told us about, like his father was on his deathbed in the hospital, and his father was like really sick at the time. Mr. Ponce's father was sick at the time, and Ric Flair called him to talk to his father while his father was
awesome.
So that's just wild. But yeah, shout out to Mr. P. Go ahead, Bunch.
Yeah, and he even had Tatanka send us a message for like
Chris,
Thanksgiving.
Chris Chavis, Tatanka,
Yeah.
Who's another? He's a local. He's a not really 757 because he's from Pembroke, North Carolina, but that's northeast North Carolina.
You say Cranbrook? We talking 8 Mile Cranbrook? Terrence with two parents.
Yeah, so Tatanka is from like 757 adjacent area, Pembroke, North Carolina, which is kind of like northeast North Carolina. If I'm not mistaken, like kind of near Elizabeth City area. So right outside the 757, but well known in the area, especially I think he was a football player in high school during that time period.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was there with my best friend Jason McConney, the Reverend,
the deacon. Yeah.
No, he's a Reverend.
Sorry,
Reverend
my bad.
Swerve Strickland's first tag team partner.
So really,
yes.
Yeah.
I remember,
I told
Jason
you,
McConney told me that himself.
Swerve trained at the school that we trained at.
Wow, full circle.
That's how I know Swerve. He trained at the school we trained.
Swerve.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
what was where was the school at again, Bunch? I forget where.
Ground Zero in not Richmond, but
New Kent.
It's Richmond area, but it's not Richmond. It's Ground Zero. No, not New Kent. It's Richmond, but Richmond has the different.
Oh, like Henrico County, Highland Springs, Chesterfield.
Okay. Yeah, I can't remember what section it was, but it's Richmond, Ground Zero Wrestling, whatever. But yeah, so me and him went, and it was Mr. P's last show, so he was commissioner of VCW and he retired, so he's not gonna be doing anything else, other than just being a fan again. And it's a real good show. They didn't really have any big name wrestlers there this time. Last time we went, they had Magnum TA, but they had David Crockett there. So you don't cut me off and you don't count me down, you yellow son of a bitch. Now, like I was saying, David Crockett was there.
Which one? Is three of us up here.
You know which one I'm talking about. I like you. And I like the other one.
You brown bastard. Continue whatever.
But yeah, so David Crockett was there, big wrestling promoter back in the day, and people taking pictures with him. And it was pretty much, it was an all right show. It's not like it used to be when me and him used to go, because we just used to terrorize all the wrestlers and heckle everybody. But
any talent you see in there that's like, maybe?
Nah, not it wasn't. It had one guy who I can't remember his name. He's a black guy. He used to wrestle in Ring of Honor. He at one point was one of the trios champs in Ring of Honor. He's a black guy. I can't remember his name, but it wasn't really anybody there like that you would think is on the come up. Man, if you don't stop making that dumbass face every time we come back, look. But it was one dude. It was kind of funny. One dude was there. He kind of reminded us what Swerve used to look like. He was 150 pounds and he was small and he was very athletic. So me and Jason being assholes like we were, we just kept saying, "Whose house?" So and he had the funny thing about it, he had the rap music, whatever, it kind of sounded like Swerve. So when he came out, I was kind of hit the nah jank, But yeah, that's about it. It was all right, So.
Okay. Whatever. Very riveting story, jackass. So anyway, moving on. No, I didn't hear most of it because
I know, because you probably froze, you dumbass.
Yeah, blow me. So I wanted to talk about this is our season finale or whatever. We're gonna take a little break like we normally do. And we talk. It was a lot of positives, I feel like, that happened that year. To me, the biggest one, Vince McMahon, old ass, stepped down, got retired, got future endeavored. You know what I'm saying? Whatever's happened.
My endeavor.
Well, and so there was a lot of positives. AEW had the big, join in Wembley. So, it was a lot of highs and lows. And we have talked about throughout the year things that we didn't like and things that we of course did like. So we were going to focus on this last show on things that we think that will be positive changes or shit that and we'll shout out to indies and everybody else, but we want to kind of keep it to WWE and AEW since they the number one and the number two sports entertainment / wrestling companies in the world and whatever. So AEW is low hanging fruit. I feel like we can talk about a lot of what they can fix. So I want to start with WWE and maybe 3 things that you guys think that WWE can do right now to improve their product. I have 3 listed down here for me, and then we'll go around the room or whatever, the virtual room. But to me, the biggest thing off the bat, sort of easy thing that WWE can do to improve the product is make Raw 2 hours again. There is 2.
Hold on. Before you finish, it has to be something that's reasonable. That makes sense, but it's never going to happen. That's something like the NBA. We know that the NBA season would be better if it had less games because people wouldn't get hurt as much. But because they would lose money by not having as many games, they would never make Raw go back to 2 hours because they would lose money by going back to 2 hours. So it's got to be something that's actually doable.
I think that might be because aren't they looking right now for a new network, a possible new network? Because I think we saw what's the fucking network that they said
WB?
The W.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you said FX2 or something.
I heard WB's the highest bidder, allegedly.
Supposedly Warner Brothers, but someone posted on Twitter, I think it was Sean Ross Sapp, that said that they're out. So it could be Amazon.
WB.
So basically Turner, like TBS, TNT.
Well,
Warner Brothers Discovery. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Say it.
Yeah.
But that would be a conflict of interest anyway. So
right. Yeah. And Amazon Prime is the other one. Ooh. And Disney FX. I didn't know Disney owned Fox. I didn't know that.
They own every goddamn
Remember that's how they were able to get X-Men, the Fantastic Four and stuff to come over from Marvel because they purchased. That's how they got the purchase. For Fox.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why, like, if you go on the Disney Plus thing now, you'll see like the old X-Men, the X-Men Fox X-Men movies and stuff up there and stuff. So yeah, and that's how they got Deadpool too as well. So
yeah, so those are the top choices. Yep.
My thing is,
I mean,
I get it.
Okay. So that being the case, then that is possible. So
it's feasible. It's feasible.
I digress. Do you think?
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, that's a good point though. Like, okay, say they do stay on USA Network, right? I get it. Like they make a lot of money, but WWE makes a lot of money anyway. This has been one of their most profitable 2 years, 3 year span that they've ever had, according to sources, that they've ever had. And I know they make a lot of money, but the product would be so much money. And I think it's a short term. Yeah, it will cost them a little bit of money, but if the quality expands and instead of, because I think their ceiling right now is 2 million. If they could get that 3-4, like to me, wouldn't it be worth it to have a solid 2 hours of Raw? Because SmackDown's been way more consistently better. Sometimes, but it's a 2 hour show. And Raw has anybody had the patience to sit through a 3 hour Raw in the last fucking 4? It's rough.
I did it last week, and I've never seen for CM Punk. I've never, like, everyone's saying that the product is hot, like making the most money they've had ever.
Garbage.
Sellout shows, like you see the pops that all the big guys are getting, Cody, Jey Uso, but I'm sitting there watching a 3-hour Raw, and I'm just like, this is fucking boring. Like,
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna cut you off, D-Lo.
No worries.
What? That's one thing that pissed me off with that. Went through all that, and they didn't even have enough time for him to really do what he had to do. He was out for 5 minutes. While on the other side,
that was frustrating.
AEW, when they do stuff, they do it off the top to kind of get you in and build from that, or else they do it at the midway point. WWE always, when they want to do something big, they would like, coming up soon, coming up.
Yeah.
And it's the last 5 or 10 minutes of the show. And what they're still trying to live by that old adage of, we're going to say something's coming to keep people watching. But we now live in a different world where people want their information and their news quick, fast, and now. And now. And you got people that can be like, oh, they probably waited to see CM Punk. Like when CM Punk debuted at AEW, it won't know, oh, he coming out the end.
Yeah,
it came out, and you heard the music hit. He came out for that. It should have been the same goddamn thing for WWE.
This man was gone for 10 years, and it's like, no, we're gonna leave you until 10:55 to cut up. Like, come on, man.
And then give you like 6 minutes.
It's because nobody wants to watch Raw. And I actually streamed, right? When Raw came on, because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stream because I need to stream on my thing. And I was like, the only way I'm gonna watch Raw live is if I stream and talk with some people and actually take my mind off this boring shit, because I knew that they were going to wait until the very end of the show to bring CM Punk out. And I said it from the beginning of the show. I said they're going to wait till the very end to bring CM Punk out, because the show's going to be trash. It's going to be straight waste management. And the only way they're going to get people to watch it till the end is if they tease you and say, oh, we're going to give you CM Punk at the end. So people are going to either not watch it and just tune in at the end, or they're just going to watch it and just wait. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they did.
I thought they were going to be different because it was CM Punk coming back. Yeah. You know, I know all the shit I talk about CM Punk, problematic Punk, and all this stuff like that. But him coming back was a big fucking deal, considering everything. And I said, I'm not going to say there's no way, but they're going to maybe start off the show with this, with CM Punk and everything. And when they didn't do the first segment on CM Punk, I said, they're going to wait till the end of the show like normal. And I went to bed. I went to bed.
Because it ain't like you can't watch it, immediately as soon as you wake up. I mean, it's like,
it's going to be right on social media. But and the thing about it is, with WWE, they're copying everything that AEW does. Like, they can say they don't care, they don't watch, whatever.
None of us.
They're copying everything they do. So eventually, they're going to start doing that because they see AEW does that. So when it'll
make the product better. And that's why we need to. Yeah. And that's why WWE always needs a number 2 company. As much as people shit on AEW or whatever, like, you need a good, solid number 2 company, because I mean, even like the press conference, that they copied. Just everything.
The only time. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm home.
I got 2 points.
Yes.
We've been watching Randy Orton wrestle and talk for damn near 20 years. We already know. We know his matches. We didn't need to see him kick off the show.
And with Dom at that, come on now.
Like, congratulations, you came back from a serious back injury. I don't really need to see this dude on my TV in 3 or 4 segments. And number 2, like what you guys were saying about WWE and needing a competition, I think what I have found out just reading stuff online in the last week or so is that fans never wanted an alternative. They just wanted WWE to be better. And
But you can't get it better if they don't have something to make it better.
Because they won't. They don't have an incentive as a company.
They don't give a fuck.
Because they're like, we're the only game in town. But no, that's
them idiots that want WWE. Hold on, I got you, Antonio. But them idiots that want WWE to be better and don't want competition, they're going to keep buying. They're going to keep attending. They're going to keep supporting, even though it's shit. So those idiots should want competition so that the product they love so fucking much can do better. The fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will say this. The only time WWE, I think, was what the fuck is that?
It's just people watching now.
Yeah, we get interaction, man.
Oh, I was like, what the hell is that? Oh, it's so okay.
That threw your old ass off. Like,
I was like,
what is this new technology? Who is that?
No, not that. I was like, why is Bunch name wait till the last minute dragging stuff out there? No. What I was about to say is that I think the only time WWE was at its height without competition, and I've said this before, was during the Ruthless Aggression. And you know why I was at its height like that? That roster was goddamn stacked. And that roster was ridiculous of talent right now. From main eventers to mid-carders to people that are trying to work their way up. This roster is stacked. Like I said, a problem I've always, you know what? That's going to be a part of my thing.
I got you. You know, I'm glad you brought up that point because that leads me into my second one. Which to me, why that the Ruthless Aggression was so dope, because you had a mixture of the edge and you had a mixture of the talent that they never, it was like consolidated into one place. And to me, the biggest thing with WWE is that I know, you got toys and you got all this shit and you have a audience that you're trying to get that's not us, that you're trying to bring into the product. But one of the products needs to have more of an edge. Well,
he's in AEW right now.
Wow, there you go.
Adam.
But I mean, come on, like it's okay. You can occasionally say shit. You can believe. We have talked about this at nauseam. Like I'm not saying you need to like swallow blood and spit it in someone's mouth, but come on, occasionally, like we need a little bit of realism. I'm not, and hear me out. I'm not trying to say you need to go backwards. This is not 1999. It's a different era. The shit that you got away with in the Attitude Era and some stuff in the Ruthless Aggression era, you absolutely ain't gonna get away with. But there should be, some of the promos that some of these guys get, especially what's the group Dom's in? I don't know why I'm
Judgment
Day. Their promos, as much as I like them as a heel, like
dude, but listen,
their wooden horrible delivery.
Hold on. Just listen to
horrible.
This. The problem is the whole bloodline storyline fooled everybody into thinking WWE was good again, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just one storyline.
It was one storyline that was great.
I noticed no one's talking about it anymore.
Yeah, but one storyline.
Community theater.
Well, but it wasn't always. To his point, it wasn't always community theater. It was leading wrestling. It was
regardless, one storyline on one show carried the whole WWE for almost 2 years. That's not good TV. It's just they caught lightning in the bottle with one storyline. And they fooled everybody into thinking that the product was good again. But other than that, the product was still mid.
Yeah. And one thing I cannot figure out is like what they figured out in the Attitude Era, which this is a Vince Russo thing. I don't give him much credit, but I'll give him credit for that. But he was able to make you care about everybody from the top. I mean, him and Vince and the creators were able to convince you that like the people, everybody had an interesting storyline from the top
where he got that from? Huh? You know where he got that from? He works for WWE right now. It's Paul Heyman in ECW.
Yeah.
You go back and you watch
even the little jabroni, like it's something for everybody. Yeah. And WWE
they have
has
that
not
a little bit
had
though?
that since
Don't they
since the
like
Ruthless Aggression era, and a little bit.
the Shoosh Academy? Like they be out there and the fans are into it. What are they called? I'm sorry, I don't know. I forgot their name.
The Alpha
Oh,
Academy.
my bad. I said the Shush Academy.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But calling them.
Hey, I know a chick that looks like Chad Gable. I call her Chad Gable.
Oh,
she got the
I don't know if that's
wow.
a good
that's
thing or a bad
horrible.
thing.
That's horrible. That's not a good thing.
All right, Jason, you just said two things. What's your third thing?
And my final one is make NXT great again, with the exception of Braun and Carmelo. It's not how it was when I first started to look at NXT with, when they they had the Sasha Banks, the Baileys, the Kevin Owens, like all that fantastic run when they were on the WWE network. It should be a developmental territory. And again, it goes back to like, it's just too much wrestling product out there for me to care about NXT. But those are my three things that I think would make WWE great again. But I'll toss it over to franchise. What you got?
All right. So my three things to make WWE better. All right. First thing, of course, for me is better and more cohesive storylines all the way across.
Okay.
So, like Bunch,
that's asking a lot.
That's a whole lot.
But it can be fixed. It's something that's fixable.
Okay,
so it's like,
we'll see.
So it's like you have the Bloodline storyline. That was it. That was what's carried the company. That carried the company for like what, year and a half, 2 years or whatever with that storyline. And it was like they focused everything with that, but didn't do it with anything. Did do it with anything else in there. You have so many things that you could kind of make, saying storylines with the people. You have the talent. You have talent, but you also have the amount of people on the roster or whatever to make something happen. Hell, if you got all these people on the roster, do what wrestling did back in the day. Hey, we got so much talent. We want to highlight these people, but we can't. Find a way to start a faction, gang warfare. That type of shit always worked. It worked in the Attitude area, and I say era. It definitely worked in WCW when they had all, the Horsemen. You had the Horsemen, you had the NWO, you had the Dungeon of Doom.
West Texas Rednecks.
Red Texas. I love that faction.
NXT as a way to get rid of some of that talent too.
Right. And so stop sending, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to save face with NXT. NXT lost against AEW. And the thing is, and here's the whole thing about it. They, people want to be like, no, AEW is NXT no, it was a developmental. No. WWE said NXT is their third brand.
Yeah. It hasn't been developmental in 2 years.
It hasn't been developmental in years. Years on it. Stop sending people like Corbin, Apollo Crews, or whatever down to NXT because, hey man, we don't really know what to do with you.
We ain't got nothing for you. We ain't got no work for you today.
We'll send you there, or else, hey Becky, let's send you down there so you can win the NXT championship. Nigga, what? Hey, you even sent Dolph Ziggler down there and had him win it.
He won the belt.
And he won the world. He won the belt. Like, my nigga, you got Dom on the main.
You had New Day winning the tag belts down there.
Right. My nigga, you got Dom with
Dirty
the
Dom.
North American title on the main brand. I don't think Dom has even defended the title in NXT since he won it back in the rematch or whatever when they took the belt off of Trick Williams in 24 hours. Get the fuck out of my face.
They took the belt off of Solo and he ain't even defended.
Right, he didn't even get a chance.
I mean, I get them taking off Solo because they advanced them, but they ain't advanced.
No, it don't make sense. You can't take it off of Solo and then give it to Dom, who's on the main roster too.
Right. What I'm saying is
that part didn't make sense.
It's not making sense now with that. I understood it when they did it the first time, but now with them doing it with Dom, don't make no fucking sense. All right, so that's my first thing. Better and more cohesive storylines. Next thing, this coincides kind of with what I was saying, what I was getting ready to go into my thing with. Let's get some of this younger talent on the main roster. You need to find your next stars. the average age of the main roster people that are big right now is like 40, 42 years old. All these people are like late 30s, early to late 40s. And it's like bodies ain't gonna be holding up that much longer, no matter how much wellness program and all this stuff we got. Man, you need to stop
they
playing.
Have LeBron's doctors and stuff.
I mean, right. You need to stop playing. Go ahead and move Braun up.
Randy said he wants to wrestle 10 more years, franchise.
man, he gonna be.
Ain't that much steroids in the world.
His back gonna be like he gonna be walking around like that or whatever. Please,
he gonna be looking like Roderick Strong.
Right, we have to start finding
Randy.
We have to start finding the next crop of new dudes that come in here. You tried to push one, but you did it unorganically, and that was Austin Theory or whatever. You can push it, but have it be a damn ignorant ass heel that is annoying, that people in the frame of Tully Blanchard. I really thought they had something possibly going by putting Waller and Theory together and having them be an annoying ass tag team in the vein of the New Age Outlaws when they first got together. Remember, everyone fucking hated them being together, and they were just annoying as shit. And they put them over by winning the world titles from the fucking Legion of Doom. Possibly one of the greatest tag teams, the greatest tag team of all time. So start to look for your new younger talent to move up, because Roman ain't gonna be around much longer.
But you can't even push them as a tag team because they keep pushing Judgment Day because they don't want to fucking come to they don't want to come to a decision what they want to do with Priest yet, because they bringing in CM Punk now. So it's
once again, like I said, you bringing these old niggas. Let's start looking at. You know what they're doing? They're doing what WCW did when they started bringing all the old wrestlers from WWE over.
Yep.
But the thing
and
is,
that worked for a time.
It worked for a time, but WWE at the time too still built up younger talent to help out. WWE is not doing that at all. So that's my second thing. And my final thing, this might be kind of controversial.
Okay.
But
that's what we're here for.
Oh shit.
Bunch, you have been on one tonight. Bunch, you've been on one tonight. Chill out for a second, man. I got you. Chill out.
No, and it's the season finale.
Too.
If you don't bring that heat and let it cook.
So this is my last thing, kind of controversial, and it kind of, in my opinion, coincides with the first thing I said about better cohesive storylines. Let's cut back on all these one pay-per-view a month. Cut back on it, because what are we doing? We are getting some of the same matches 3 fucking pay-per-views in a row, and also getting them on Raw and SmackDown at the same time. It's no build-up. I mean, it's build-up for it, but it's no type of tension to it or anything like that. I would say cut back. You have your main 4 events, and then 12 months a year, I would cut back from a fucking event every damn month to maybe 8 out the year or so. That way you build tension. You can build these rivalries up, and it will be more. It'll be more daggone. It would be more. What intense. I'm trying to say, intense.
It's a real feud because you're not fighting every week.
Right, every week we see. Listen, remember how many times in a row did we see? How many times in a row did we see Rey Mysterio and Andrade? Remember that shit? That shit went on for like 4 fucking months. 4 fucking months. Every Raw, and then like every pay-per-view, they win at it. We don't need that shit, man.
They don't need it because they have so many wrestlers.
So
many potential feuds.
That's money. They're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like they need to do it. But never mind.
AEW about to do the same damn thing too. They about to ramp it up and have a fucking pay-per-view almost every month too. They about to do the same.
You think so? I don't think so.
They are too.
It's ill advised.
For them, it's actually better for them because I feel like stuff with AEW, it drags on too long. And so by the time you actually get to the pay-per-view match, you kind of don't want to see it because it's like, damn, these dudes have been feuding and talking for 8 weeks, and now I'm tired. Like, I don't even want to see the match anymore. Like, but we'll see.
Well, I think we hit on a lot of things. I mean, I know I want to get at AEW, but Hollywood, D-Lo, did y'all have anything to add? You know, because I'll go to y'all first for AEW, but do y'all have anything to add for what WWE can improve on?
I think it's what a lot of you guys have said. Like the feuds, it feels like it's never ending. Like Bianca Belair has actually been feuding with Damage Control since SummerSlam of last year. When you really think about
Shut
it.
up.
And hold on,
No.
D-Lo. And then you
Yeah,
just
she
had a war.
has.
You just had a War Games match that
Yeah.
was supposed
And
to
they're still
end.
feuding after that.
And she
Like they're
said,
still having matches.
Hold on. She said, I'm not done with Damage Control yet. That's what the first thing she said in her promo. I'm not done with Damage Control yet. Really? You not?
Yeah, you beat the shit out of them. Your team beat them. You beat them.
And now she said, I'm going through every last one of them.
That was sexy when she said that.
The feud started right back up.
Yeah.
They've been feuding off and on for 16
Yeah.
months. When you
Wow.
when you put that. Second thing, I agree about the show just looks sterile. Like just sitting there for 3 hours, the show is presented as I'm just sitting here in a theater just watching a play. That's all. Like there's just very little engagement. It's the same entrance setup. Wrestlers come out the same way. It's like everything is just it's a machine. Like it's just everything. It just looks the same. And then the last part,
but the idiots like it.
right. And the last part is like you guys said, get some new stars. I sent you guys a picture like a few days ago. It was a 2013 picture of Raw. It had Triple H, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes. In 2023, it's the exact same 5 people on the show. I could go into a coma for 10 years and wake up and it's still the same show that I went into a coma with. Nothing changed. You can stop watching for 6 months and it's the same show when you get back and you can pick right back into it because it's like, oh damn, Cody Rhodes is still
Cody
feuding
dyed
with
his
Seth
hair.
Rollins.
Oh, Cody dyed his hair. Like
yeah, Cody dyed his hair.
What you been up to?
Yeah.
Triple H is completely bald now. He don't got the buzz.
Right.
Yeah, that's totally right, man. Yeah.
You want to move on to AEW?
I'll start out with AEW.
Okay, I'll toss it. I have a couple, but I'll toss it over to you, Hollywood.
Yeah. My biggest gripe with AEW has always been mostly them pushing Tony's favorites more than the other people. So I mean, I'm not gonna bash nobody, because again,
it's okay.
It's a
safe space.
I don't give a fuck if it's safe or not. I'm gonna speak my truth, but I'm not gonna bash nobody because I like the guys. Again, I just feel that it's a lot of wrestlers in AEW that need to be capitalized on now because they're not getting any younger. And it has to be a way that AEW can actually bring somebody in that can write better storylines. Oh, shut up. You looking at the score?
The hit that dude just got laid out with.
Can write better, more cohesive storylines for other people other than just the Elite or the Four Pillars. Like it's plenty of people and plenty of talent AEW that you've signed that you can consistently put better storylines together and keep them on TV and keep them hot while they're hot. That's my biggest gripe with them. The second gripe with them is I feel a lot of their wrestlers get overused. Like guys will be hurt and they're still wrestling 2 shows a week. Like you got plenty of guys. Why you got the same people and they're hurt wrestling 2 shows a week when they can rest a little bit and they can still be on TV, but they don't
give them a hot promo to say.
Yeah,
why they rest up?
Wrestle. And it's like MJF is hurt now, and it's like why
Daniel
is he
Bryan's hurt?
Yeah, why is he even wrestling next week? Why couldn't you just wait until the world's end for him to fight Joe? You know what I'm saying? Like he don't need to be wrestling. Let the dude. He been pulling double duty in tag matches, but
and he's the best promo in AEW. Yeah, just let him cook.
And then you got who was the other person that was hurt too? That's wrestling more than what they should. It was somebody else.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, like you said, Daniel Bryan. He got one fucking eye. I got one freaking eye. Like he couldn't even have his match on Collision last week. So the whole tournament is a little bit screwed up because on Dynamite last week they had their 3 matches, and then Collision comes and they only had 2 matches because Daniel Bryan couldn't wrestle last week. So they didn't get all 3 of their matches. So now this week, of course, Dynamite had their 3 matches, and now Collision had their 3 matches, but they're a match short because they didn't get a chance to wrestle the week before because Daniel Bryan probably wasn't cleared last week. But it's like you got guys that are hurt, and you can give them a break because you got plenty of people, not just that need TV time, plenty of people that deserve it. I'm not saying just give people TV time, but these people have deserved it. They've earned it, and the people are behind them, and the people can't understand why they ain't on TV. That's 2. And I'll just leave it at that because I know y'all got other stuff y'all want to talk about. But those are my main 2 things. And it's got to be better because with WWE trying to pick the bones of AEW every chance they get, you got to do better.
I'll toss it over to D-Lo. What you think, Pimpin'?
Yeah, I agree with Bunch. I also think that they need to make a better effort on pushing the women's wrestlers because with WWE, there's either 2 or 3 matches on there, or they got backstage segments. With AEW, usually just one women's match, and it's usually before the main event every single week. So I think they need to do a better job pushing the women's wrestlers. I think they need to do a better job of like Swerve, for example. That match with Hangman Page, that kind of made him. Now go with it. Like push him all the way. Make him win the belt. Do something. Like don't just and it seems like they've learned from their past mistakes. The pushes are being consistent because back in the day, Swerve would win that match with Hangman, and you wouldn't see him for 2 months. So the fact that he's on TV every week and he's wrestling and he's winning, that's a good sign. And then the other thing is, I feel like sometimes they got to let things breathe. Like you just like if John Moxley gets his eye taken out by, I don't know, who's a faction in AEW, the Dark Order or something.
House of Black. No, hell no. House of Black. Yeah, House of
Black. Don't take it to the back with Tony Schiavone and Orange Cassidy, like 10 seconds after he got his eye taken out. Like, don't do that. Like, let things breathe. It's always like a rush. We got to go to the next thing. Like, you got to let. That's one thing that WWE does do well is that if something big happens, they let the moment.
They capitalize.
They let the moment just happen.
It's almost like the Booker is on cocaine. Anyway.
It is skiing season.
I'll toss it over to Monday.
Okay. The few things I have aren't that big, aren't that major for AEW to kind of fix. These are things I think that are very simple, quick, and easy to fix. Once again, I go back to my first thing, which is that not even that. AEW do have better storylines than WWE by far. I think one problem that they do have though with their storylines is they'll just let it go for a little bit, and as soon as they have the match, that storyline's done with, instead of letting it simmer maybe a little bit long, let it simmer a little bit longer. Where WWE on some of their storylines need to cut it down, AEW need to make some of their storylines go a little long, go a little bit longer.
I agree
so
with
that's
that.
One thing with them. That's one thing I see with them. My next thing, and this is what needs to, for the love of God, needs to really happen. They need to separate ROH.
Yep.
Separate ROH. That is a major thing that needs to happen. Because okay, cool. I get it. When y'all purchase ROH and y'all wanted to keep ROH fresh in the minds of people, and then fresh in the minds of people who are fans of ROH, but also let people know, hey, this other organization has been out there, and there have people that was like they had heard of ROH, but they never watched it, but they've gone on YouTube and stuff now and started watching old stuff or whatever like that. They got to separate it, because it's starting now to get confusing with all these goddamn championships. With all,
I think AEW has at least 29.
With all of these championships, because you have the ROH champion, you have the AEW, you got the ROH champion, AEW champion, you got the ROH television champion, you got the TNT champion, then you got the ROH 6-man title. You got AEW Trios title. You have the ROH Tag Team Champion. You got the AEW Tag Team Champions. And now
women's championship, men,
right?
Both women.
You got the ROH Women's
Pure
Championship.
What is even that? What is that
so
even?
The Pure Championship is more like it's something ROH did. They had it for a minute and then they stopped it, and then they brought it back like right before the company kind of folded. And it's more on like it's more of like traditional wrestling things where there isn't going to be a whole lot of like
No, don't read that. That's somebody just trying to advertise. Do your job, Mod. Do your job, Mod.
So I think it has to be a separation of AEW and ROH. I get maybe once a year doing a Worlds Collide pay-per-view, where you get like a little feud to have that going, or what I'm saying?
Because you have you can have Japan stuff.
And then bring New Japan to come in.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. That's something cool. But they have to really separate the two, because it's starting to become a thing where it's just like, you get a championship, you get a championship, you get a championship, and everyone's out there being championship. And someone who isn't really familiar with wrestling like that will come out there and be like, AEW, well, what's ROH? Well, why is ROH and AEW champions on the same thing or whatever? People that's like that. So that's my thing with that. And my final thing, and this is something that I could goddamn come there and fix. Straight up. Production value. Presentation value. Production value.
Get them, Ash.
Yeah.
There is no goddamn reason. As someone who works in television and who is in production, and for people want to know, yes, I direct television news, and I've directed regular TV shows. I directed fucking pre and post game.
You ain't gotta put your credentials out there.
He wish a bitch would. He wish a bitch would.
Just let them know.
This shit, some of the shit that I see from AEW production wise is fucking criminal. And somebody should be fucking. No, I'm dead serious, Jason. And Jason, you was a media major too at Norfolk State, and some of the shit that we've seen.
Yeah, well, you
way past
the elementary level.
I know the harder I had some technical difficulties. We're gonna run this segment again in about 5 minutes.
No, man, no, that's goddamn ridiculous. Like, that is damn ridiculous that you got fucking issues like that with stuff not work. You know what I'm saying? With the tape. Granted, I if it happened once, I ain't got no problem. It has happened multiple times.
Yeah.
It's been multiple times where mics aren't on. It's multiple times where lighting is fucked up and stuff like that. It is criminal.
Yeah.
If I was the
WCW never even did that.
Right, WCW never really had those issues. Well, fuck they not. You know why? Because fucking Ted Turner was in charge. But I don't know if Ted Turner's still in charge of Turner. I don't know if he's still alive anyway.
Ain't dead.
I don't know.
198.
But, man, if AEW was to hire me to be their production coordinator or whatever,
would roll.
Man, it would be so.
Hey,
it would
and
be
I
so
would,
many. It was so many job openings.
Hold on, Antonio. I would help you walk them motherfuckers out too.
No, I don't need a loose cannon like
we'll
you
help
because
pack your shit.
loose
We'll help
cannons
them pack
like
their
you
shit.
bunch is how I get lawsuits or whatever.
Right, and how you get fired. No,
I'm gonna get fired of that. But I'm telling you right there, that
grand
it's
opening, grand
criminal.
closing.
It's criminal for some of the stuff that I've seen production wise, and it makes me cringe. And granted, WWE, they used to do some production wise. They don't really do it no more. That used to fucking grind my gears.
I know what you're about to talk about.
Extreme cleans and close outs and close ins and close outs. I used to be like, what the fuck are they doing?
Literally dizzy.
And then, like, people, somebody like, I'm not epileptic, but that shit was about to give me an epileptic seizure every time I saw that shit. So it's ridiculous. But yeah,
it was cartoonish and buffoonish. It was stupid.
It was stupid. And I blame,
it was real stupid.
And I blame you, Kevin Dunn.
Yeah,
Kevin fucking Dunn in WWE. But my AEW things, 3 things to fix would be, basically let the storylines you have that are good. I've said it before. I think AEW has more better storylines than WWE. Let them play out a little longer. Let them play out a little longer. And then my other thing, like I said, separate ROH from AEW product, and then fix the production value, please.
Yeah,
I like that.
Another thing with like separating ROH and AEW is like, I get you want to advertise ROH on AEW, but why are you having all your ROH people job out to AEW people? That's not helping the brand. Like, they're on TV, but it's not helping the brand if you bring an ROH champion on and they lose all the time to regular AEW people. Like, you got Athena was the women, still is the women's champion, longest reigning women's champion.
She's killing it over there, by the way, too. Shout out to her.
But in the tournament, that tournament they had, she lost to Willow. Willow can't even win a secondary title in AEW. She can't even win a secondary title.
Makes no sense.
And losing.
And that I think of it. I'm sorry, go ahead, Bunch.
But you get what I'm saying. And it ain't just. I think Samoa Joe is the only one that has had credibility being any kind of ROH champion.
And then they made him drop the title.
Claudio too. Claudio too.
But now that he's lost, look at the streak he's on now. He lost to Orange Cassidy. He just fucking lost to he just lost to Brody King on Collision, which was a hell of a match.
That was a good ass.
Hell of a match. But it's like, it's like they gave him. It's like what the ROH world title has turned into now is turned into a participation lifetime achievement award. Like, they gave it to Claudio because Claudio had never won a world title before. They just gave it to Eddie Kingston now. Eddie Kingston's never won a world title before. Yeah, it's turning. I'm waiting for him to give it to Dustin Rhodes next because it's turned into the lifetime participation trophy now. So it don't even have any credibility anymore.
It's like the belt Seth has right now.
I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you was gonna say that.
So yeah, one more thing. One more thing I think AEW can do better.
And then Eddie was the champ and just lost in the tournament. Did he lose to Brian too? Because I ain't seen the match.
Yeah, he did. That was a hell of a match too.
One-Eye Bandit too. So this is your reigning ROH champion, has 0 points in this tournament, and the champion before that has 3.
Well, he's put the belt up. Well, for this new tournament, he's put the belt up. He put that belt up along with the New Japan belt with this new Continental Championship.
And can't get a point. He can't even get a draw.
Whatever. My other thing I forgot to say is that AEW has to stop trying to take things from every company and try to make it like their own. This tournament thing right here they're doing ain't nothing but the New Japan, the G1. This ain't nothing but the G1, but it's not coming off. It's not G1ing. It's not G1ing. It's not G1 at all. The G1 has a purpose. It's a tournament that happens the entire month of August. Whoever wins it gets the title shot at Wrestle Kingdom, which is the biggest show. Kind of like whoever wins the Royal Rumble get that. This right here, they're just trying to do this or whatever. And
You know, another thing I wanted to say to your point is about Ring of Honor. I think if WWE bought Ring of Honor and tried to do that, it would be a lot different. I think it would be a lot more successful because AEW is trying to establish
I would say this. I
themselves.
can't agree with that because we saw what WWE did with ECW.
Well, that was their emo phase. I don't know what the fuck they fucked up the bat, but AEW needs to establish them. So that was just Vince McMahon being an asshole. But I mean, I think they could have did if they really wanted to. But I think with AEW, like establish yourself first as a top promotion, which they have been doing, and then 10 years down the line, I that deal just never made sense to me in the beginning. But whatever, it is what it is. But three things that I think they should change. One, I'll just go ahead and say it. I think they should. I think they need to get out of this pillars, the original pillars mindset, with the
I don't even think they're into
MJF.
It. I don't think they're even into that no more for real.
I hope not.
Ever since MJF won the pillars match or whatever, I don't even really think that's a thing because you got Jungle Boy Jack, who's I guess still on suspension. Oh,
wouldn't it be terrible if he's the devil?
I'm gonna say
wait till when it actually happens.
If they do that, I may stop watching because
I mean that will be a way to bring him back.
No,
I'm all in for that shit. Let's go.
I'm all out. I'm all out
for that.
Let's go. Let's go, Jungle Boy.
I'm all out. But I was gonna say, I think
real glass bitch.
Our crew is going to WrestleMania.
Cry me a river.
Wow, cry me a river.
Me and D-Lo are sitting together the first night, and then you got Jason and Antonio. They're going both nights and sitting together. But me and D-Lo are going to have more fun though.
Why we get astray for no reason? Why we getting strays?
No, somebody asked when we're going to WrestleMania.
Oh, got it.
Oh yeah.
I hope we get CM Punk and Steve Austin the first night.
Oh my God, you want to see that?
I don't want to see that. Steve Austin's too old, and CM Punk. I want to see CM Punk with somebody that can help him carry the match. Not.
You mean who's going to carry him?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Somebody might have to carry both of them out.
Well, yeah, because Austin is 55. I don't want to see that. I mean, it would have been great if it happened 10 years ago. But
he looks in great shape, like when he did.
All we need is CM Punk to botch that finishing.
He's about to turn 59 in a couple of weeks, Steve Austin.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. But yeah, I think the new pillars of the company, if you want to say that, because I think it's revolving pillars. But to me, right now, Swerve, MJF, Adam Page, and a cross between Daniel Bryan and Jon Moxley. To me, they're the MVPs. They're the MVPs. My number two thing is no more wrestling MVP, EVPs or whatever. I think they absolutely should do is that you should not be in a storyline position. Even if they are MVPs, take them out of the storyline part. They should have no say on it. Should be all like business behind the scenes, merchandise, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. They should have nothing to do. Anytime a wrestler is involved in a storyline and they're the booker and the wrestler, it's not good, except for Dusty Rhodes. Shout out to him, rest in peace. But they ain't Dusty Rhodes. All the white boys ain't Dusty Rhodes as much as.
But I don't think they have nothing to do with booking. They ain't had nothing to do with booking, man. Come on, man. Jason, let's pause. Let's pause real quick. We all know, anybody that watches the show knows that if Jason don't like a person, everything is there.
And everyone knows that if the all elite white boys, you first opportunity that you get to
because what you talking
three at a time, you are doing it.
You talking nonsense about it. Because you just
they should not be in a leadership position, and not just them. Nobody, no wrestler.
Did you say that what Triple H was doing when he was still wrestling?
That's viable. That's a.
Did you say that when Triple H was wrestling and he was still?
He shouldn't have been doing it either. It was horrible.
I didn't hear
when he was the booker. When he was the booker and the wrestler, it was horrible.
Hey, D-Lo, can I get him?
It was horrible. It was horrible. That was bad. This is bad. It never works out. The only time it works out, if you have, it really takes a Dusty Rhodes, a Daniel Bryan. There's somebody who can
it would take
lessen themselves
a
in order to make the
person
company
that's
work.
been in the
Most people
business
can't do that.
Kevin Sullivan did it.
I would say it would take a mature person that's been in the business for a while, that's on the downside of their career.
Yes,
and looking
I'll
to
give you that. I'll give you
transition
that.
into
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Not
It
somebody
can work, but it
who's
rarely
still
works.
like in their prime, still trying to compete and win championships, and they're sitting there booking storylines for other wrestlers, but yet you're still trying to book yourself into the title picture and stuff. That's conflict.
It never works, and you shouldn't do it. I don't think. Yeah.
Be touched.
Yeah, and that primarily goes back to all this. Tony Khan is at the top of the card. Like the buck stops with him. He needs to show I
saw what you did there.
When he has his when he just needs to be in control of his company. He needs to fire people that need to be fired. He did that with CM Punk, but he should have maybe did it earlier.
He didn't even do that.
He needs to get He needs to be a boss. He needs to stop having these Twitter rants that are immature and sophomoric, and just be a leader. I'm not saying you got to be Vince McMahon, but you got to be a real leader. You got to step up. Tony Khan has to step up.
Announcements. I got a major announcement.
Oh my God.
And then
stop doing that. Stop doing
and then turn it over to somebody else to make the announcement.
He just frustrates me so much because I want this company to do so well, and it has done incredibly well.
They are doing well.
They are doing so good, but they could be doing so much better. Like WWE, it was when Vince McMahon was on the tail end of leaving WWE forever. It was horrible. Like when the Bloodline was like, they had such a prime opportunity because WWE was thinking of joining. Anyway, the last thing I think they should do, just because I think it would force a little bit of the hand, or at least force the conversation with WWE, is I think they need a union. I think just like the basketball league, just like most major sports, I think they need to have a union of wrestlers where, it's certain marks or certain things, certain pay bands that you have to pay certain wrestlers. Vince McMahon has fought that for many, 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 many years, starting with Jesse Ventura, who suggested it for many years and tried to get it. And even some recent presidential candidates. I forget the guy. He's an Asian guy that ran for the Democratic president, Democratic nominee. I can't think of his name right now, but he even called for it out of the blue. What's that?
Yeah, let me call my girls real quick.
Oh yeah, the 8. Wow. I mean, if they could get it done, but I think if they really want to be different, and I think they should be the genesis of like starting a real different change in the industry and making things better for the boys and girls. But
I put it like this. I think they have somewhat of that now. And the only reason why I say AEW has somewhat of that now is that people, they're under AEW contract, but they're still allowed to go out and do independent shows. They're still allowed to go do, independent shows. They're allowed to go to Japan. They're allowed to do other stuff. When a WWE, you ain't allowed to do a motherfucking thing except rock this damn WWE on your chest and like it or whatever. So I think that AEW has, I think AEW has been more forward thinking in being able
for sure
to do that
than
anything that WWE could even think of or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, WWE now are just starting to recognize people who used to be with the company and still acknowledging like, oh, it was a part of it or whatever. With Michael Cole and them kept bringing up the 4 horsewomen and shit like that, because if you're gonna bring up the 4 horsewomen of wrestling, you have to say Sasha Banks' name, even though Sasha unceremoniously left with them, and it's not on her behalf. She unceremoniously left.
Yo, speaking of Sasha, don't you think the shit will be great, right? When the Asian midget mafia turns on Bailey, and Bailey brings out Sasha to have her back. Sasha and Nate. Well, I mean,
God, the place would, yeah.
It couldn't be Naomi because she's still, whatever. Yeah. But
the roof would blow off.
I don't think she cares about Impact that much, though. I think she'd be like, "Yeah, I'm on the way back. I'll bring the title too. I don't care.
I'm doing this shit so I won't be bored."
Yeah.
I think that shit.
I thought it was. It was weird. Remember, the women's Royal Rumble, they allowed Mickie James to wrestle, and she was the Impact.
And where did that lead to? That's another thing with WWE is that, like,
you know what it led to? They ain't have enough women to be in the tournament to be in the fucking Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
like just like that was one thing that pissed me off. It's like, oh, like they're all of a sudden mentioning New Japan and other promotions. They should have been doing that, like, regardless. What is them mentioning another promotion going to do to them? It's not going to. It's not going to affect them.
They only doing it because AEW is working with these people like that. That's all. If AEW
and their thing is, in their mind, they're the only game in town. They want to, perception is reality. Vince McMahon always said that. It was like the perception is like, this is the only game in town. If you watch American wrestling, you watching this. This is the only. Don't even try to look for nothing else. This is it, and you're gonna like it, bit. That's been their philosophy with Vince McMahon for the last.
And the idiots love
30 years.
And idiots love it.
They love it. They eat it up. But
which is why I say there's a difference. There are wrestling fans, and then there are WWE marks. I ain't gonna say the mark. WWE fans,
fanboys,
and a lot of WWE fans acting like they're wrestling fans.
They're in denial.
Yeah. AEW is going to London again next year. They've already sold 34,000 tickets for the show, and the show's like 8 months away. So I wonder what the goalposts are going to be when they sell it out again.
Can we get Swerve and Ospreay? Can we get Swerve and Ospreay at Wembley? That's all I ask.
Oh, we're gonna get Swerve. I think that.
Can we get Swerve and Ospreay?
Yeah, he's too over. Yeah. Some talent is just like, and it's undeniable.
Look, he can't do all that with the cane. Nana came out there, yo, with the cane, dog.
That's my dude, man. Manager of the year next to Paul Heyman. Just because he's fucking funny.
He's a treasure, yo.
He's a national treasure. All right, well, fellas. Well, I mean, anything else? As you wrap up AEW, they made a lot of inroads. A lot of room for improvement. Anything else? Any final things that you would like to see maybe in the new? Hey, let's just say of all of wrestling. What is it that you would love to see going into the new year?
Can we just not see Jon Moxley in the finals of this tournament? Because after that promo that he did on Collision, I'm starting to think they're gonna let him win it, or at least be in the finals. And I was hoping that they would pull the trigger and at least let Swerve be in the finals, since they let him beat Jay White.
They might. They should.
They should, but after that promo Moxley gave, it's like AEW gonna do the same shit.
Let's hope not. I mean, you can only give Moxley so much. again, I'm not a Moxley fan, but he's a staple of the company.
My head hurts, my neck hurts, my knee hurts, but I'm gonna keep fighting. Because it's all I know how to do. I'm gonna fight till nothing hurts anymore. It's like, oh my God, Moxley.
Right,
why can't you just stop fighting? Then you won't be hurting anymore. Then you can stop hurting.
Take that damn vacation you were supposed to take a year ago with Renee and get her a baby.
Go fuck your wife in the ass. Make something else hurt. Make something else hurt.
Obsession. Oh my God.
Make something else hurt, Moxley.
Oh shit!
It's all about blood. So I mean,
first blood.
My God. Are we really gonna end the season on that note?
I guess the only thing I got is, just give people that are fans better product. A better product. One I would say I think the one thing I would say this two good thing. I said a good thing about WWE and AEW. The good thing about WWE, I think, was this is probably the first year in God knows, I don't know how long, that you had almost every pay-per-view or every other pay-per-view was a banger. I think it's the first time in years, like every pay-per-view was just about a banger for what we got. As far as AEW, just keep on pushing new talent. They keep on pushing new talent the way they did. And I guess the one thing I don't really want to see is problematic Punk. I get it, he's back, cool. but we about to be saturated with problematic Punk, and I'm just waiting.
That's not going to happen because he's home. He's home.
He's home.
I'm
Did you hear
waiting.
the
You
promo?
stupid. I'm waiting for the first temper tantrum to come out, and when that temper tantrum comes, all I'm gonna say is "I told you so." I don't want to hear nothing from
You
all
mean
the
on
CM.
air or like for real, like on the dirt
Like,
sheets?
no, like for real, like shit going wrong, and he's you know what I'm saying, him being him. Let's just call it like that.
There's a rumor that there's a performance clause in his contract, basically, where WWE is protected in case something like that happens. The fact that you have to do that for a 46-year-old man is
he's
wild to
changed.
me.
Remember, he's changed.
He's changed. Haven't you changed, D-Lo, in the last 10 years? You changed.
I have, but I ain't punching people in the face and threatening their lives.
Well, maybe you should. Maybe you should. Maybe you would be the AEW world champion if you did that.
Speaking of AEW, before we go, man, hey, can we just shout out this Adam and Christian? This shit is gold, man. That
Christian
shit
is one of the MVPs of AEW.
That shit on Dynamite was fucking
the patriarch.
That shit was fucking beyond amazing. And the way Adam ended it, oh yeah. And I almost forgot. By the way, go fuck yourself. I was like, yo, and Christian was like, yo, everything about that shit was what I love about wrestling. Yeah. Man. Everything. He was like, I know you didn't have a father. Everybody's like, oh, but my father was like your father.
And that's the thing about AEW. Like, if they exist in that space, because WWE makes too much money to go in that space. Like, it's so much like content that they could be making, mature but reasonable, you know what I'm saying? Content that they could be making, and they're not gonna make WWE money, but that's fine. Like, they should make good AEW money, and eventually they'll get to that point, man. It's just like, I feel like they're right there of figuring it out, and I really hope this next year is their breakout year where they can kind of figure some things out, figure out who they are, you know, what, you know, being a real alternative, you know, not just doing old tropes from New Japan, like being AEW and establishing that brand. And man, I think wrestling overall would like benefit from that so much, but we'll see. It remains to be seen. All right, fellas, any final thoughts before we get out of here? We're gonna take a little hiatus, but we'll, holler at y'all in the new year. But anything y'all want to say?
Happy holidays, everybody. It's been a good year. Good, year 2 of the Hard R Wrestling Podcast. We made some, made some advances. Had a little slight reunion. Had a slight reunion last week.
Had
a slight I ain't gonna say a slight. Had a major reunion last week. Some things were kind of settled, and things are cool. So it's saying we making a comeback, and hopefully we can make next year just as good as this year. So right. So just happy holiday. So just shout out to my man, to Bunch, my guy Jason, and my dude D-Lo, man. Love y'all guys, man. And thanks everybody for watching.
Shout out to you too, man, because you my go-to about my mom and stuff like that.
Yeah, man.
We there. So yeah, I had a little mini shit a couple days ago. It's crazy because my brother-in-law, but I call him my brother because we were more like brothers than anything else. One of the closest people on earth to me. At some points closer than my best friends, died on my wife's birthday. So 6 years ago. So every year is kind of hard for me. So I got to celebrate my wife's birthday while also, thinking about, he got killed on her birthday. And my mom died. She was pronounced dead on the 3rd. That's when we found her. But most likely she died on my wife's birthday as well because, she didn't take her pills for that morning. So she either died the night of my wife's birthday or the following morning. You know what I'm saying? So we just found her a couple of days after that. But so it's like my wife's birthday is just like, dang, I love you, baby. But now I'm just thinking about people, close to me that I lost. And then in like 3 months, Scott, one of my other best friends, Scott, he died, 5 years ago, about to be 6 now, in February. So I was just dealing with a lot of this stuff past couple of days. And then it was crazy because I was watching I told Antonio I was watching All American, and I had stopped watching it after, Billy Baker died. Spoiler if you ain't, caught up, but I stopped watching it. And I just, decided to finish the season. So I was like, let me finish the season. And I watched one episode, and then the following episode I watched is when Spencer was trying to deal with his grief of, Billy Baker dying. And he was just lashing out on everybody. I mean, he was trying to fight people, talking shit to everybody. I mean, this dude was disrespectful. I mean, I'd have had the guy that gonna get the baby powder on his ass. He was just being mad disrespectful to everybody. And then finally he broke down, punched like a dresser or something. And, his brother was scared, and Coop was like, come on, let's go. Let's get out of here. I don't feel comfortable leaving Dylan with you. He was like, I wouldn't hurt my brother. Dylan was like, nah, I'm going with Coop. Like, I can't be around you. And he finally started dealing with his shit. And one of his friends, one of the friends has died. He, his name was Sean. And, my brother's name was Deshaun. So I'm just like, man, what the fuck is going on, man? It's just like, it's like I was kind of like doing what he was doing because I was kind of snapping on my wife, talking shit, saying shit that I shouldn't have said. And, and I'm just like, yo, and I literally just broke down and cried for the first time since she died. I literally like broke. I mean, I'm talking about the ugly cry too. Like the ugly cry, like, and I was just like, man, I was like, I needed this because I don't think I've really ever processed like my feelings of her dying, and then it tying into my, other people that's close, and just like I really needed to do that. And I hit this guy up and told him about it, and he always listens to me when I want to talk about this stuff. So, shout out to him, man. But yo, we gotta be strong, man. Life is life.
Thank you, man. Thanks for sharing that, man. I really appreciate you and love you guys.
Damn, we in it like that.
We were. But...
give us some inspiration. Give us something happy, D-Lo, to lead us out.
Yeah, give us some cheerful.
The longest reigning, defending intercontinental champion, Gunther.
We'll holler at y'all next year.
You bland bitch.